you don't need to be a person to own Bitcoin. And you don't need to be a person to move stable coins around. And one thing I'm sure is that people are not going to think as quick, and they're not going to be as smart, and they're not going to work as hard as the robots and the AIs are. So it'll be a digital economy on digital rails with digital currency and digital capital, and that again is auspicious for the industry, but also it's good for the human race. So I think it's inevitable that you're going to see stable coins, especially US dollar-backed stable coins, that are going to explode from it was a $100 billion business a year ago to 250 billion to 500 to a trillion to 2 trillion. Eventually, I think there'll be $10 trillion worth of stable coin moving at the speed of light, millions of times a second. And I think that that'll be the medium of exchange in the digital economy. And then I think the store of value, the capital asset in the digital economy will be Bitcoin. These AIs are going to want to capitalize on Bitcoin. If you want to release something into cyberspace and have it live forever, how are you going to capitalize it? You're going to load it up with some Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is going to continue to appreciate in value. So you don't need to be a person to own Bitcoin. And you don't need to be a person to move stable coins around. And one thing I'm sure is that people are not going to think as quick, and they're not going to be as smart, and they're not going to work as hard as the robots and the AIs are. So it'll be a digital economy on digital rails with digital currency and digital capital, and that again is auspicious for the industry, but also it's good for the human race. Well, I think Bitcoin's going to continue to grind up. I think the volatility is coming off of it as the industry becomes more structured with more derivatives and more ways to hedge it. Our expectation right now is end of the year, it should be about $150,000. And that's the consensus of the equity analysts that cover our company and the Bitcoin industry right now. I don't know why it won't grind up to $1 million a coin over the next 4 to 8 years. I would think not less than 4, not more than 8. And of course, my long-term forecast is it goes up about 30% a year for the next 20 years, and we're headed toward $20 million Bitcoin.
Hey girl, I can see your body moving, and it's driving me crazy.
Wow. I never got that kind of welcome before.
I had to remix it.
I love it. And thank you so much for joining us. You're obviously joining us today from the FinTech event Money 2020 in Las Vegas, where Circle announced a partnership with you, Grammy Award-winning artist and producer Wyclef Jean. The goal? To bring stablecoin innovation to the world stage. Now, Wyclef, a lot of people, including myself, know who you are because of your impressive music career. You were a founding member of the popular hip-hop group The Fugees and went on to produce more hit songs, collaborating with artists like Shakira and Carlos Santana. Of course, everyone knows the songs Hips Don't Lie and Maria Maria. Well, now we're seeing you collaborate with the stablecoin issuer Circle. Quite the shift from music. What made you want to team up with Circle specifically, and why stablecoins?
Well, that's a great question, but I think that it's not really a shift. It's just that those records are very loud. They're just hard to beat, right? When you got Hips Don't Lie, Maria Maria, when you got the Fugees, The Score, you're not paying attention to the fact that I bought a remittance company before I was 30 in Haiti called Bobby Express. So one of my early investments as my days was how money is moved from the States to my country back in the day was of interest. So coming from Haiti, I'm from a rural area out of Croix-des-Bouquets called Le Serre. So all I remember was like just literally being in that village and waiting to see what my mama gonna send me from New York City. So being on the side of the village and then moving to America, getting that American dream and being on the side of the diaspora and understanding what it's like to be in these third world countries or islands and waiting for that transfer to come. It's not no joke. So for me, I get to relive my Bobby Express days in a different form now with USDC. You know what I mean? everybody else is doing. I think I'm going to give you a word. It's called culture currency, economical freedom. And I think that out of everybody that I see doing it, I think that circle represents my brand. It fits perfect for the idea of economical freedom. You know, think about this. Every day I'm on stage all over the world and everyone is seeing billions of views and all of that. But think about this, 1.3 billion people don't have access to the economical tools. So my job is to lead them to the water. So imagine if I could convert all these hits now into financial literacy, right? So I think that combining with Circle, I'm excited about that.
And expanding on that, Wyclef, as you mentioned, you were born in Haiti. Your roots and humanitarian efforts apparently got the attention of Circle, which now tapped you as the company's global culture advisor. Together, you'll spotlight real stories of people using stablecoins around the world, from small business owners to cross-border workers. Through storytelling, performance, and community engagement, you'll demonstrate how stablecoins can help drive global prosperity. What are you most looking forward to achieving in your new role as Global Culture Advisor? And how can your upbringing help with that?
Well, the thing is, in my village, I'm a dream. So when a child looks at me that's like 5 or 6 years old, he's like, I want to be like Wyclef Jean. And my job literally now is to provide him or her the ability now with the tools at a very young age to actually understand what generational wealth can look like, right? I always said when I was young, I really didn't want you to give me none. I just wanted you to invest in me, make me a partner, show me how to do it, give me the tools to do it. So what I'm most excited about is there's going to be millions and millions of Wyclef Jeans and Miss Lauren Hills all over the world now that at a very young age, they're going to have their wallet and they're going to learn how to build generational wealth. Well, again, you know, I was saying that imagine in my 20s, you know, I was always interested on how money moves, right? Take a place like Haiti. Before they had mobile wallets, I was talking about mobile wallets, right? I was like, mobile wallets will probably solve a big, it could turn into what's a negative to a safety issue, right? So I've always been the one that's always have been pushing these narratives ever since I was young. It's sort of like, you know how you saying things when you're young and people think you're crazy and you get older and then you find your Avengers and your superheroes. So this is not a now thing. You can always trace it back to history. Again, I feel like the future, again, is economical freedom and the idea for kids to grow wealth. That's the only, you know, the music industry now, for you to make real money, right, you literally have to become a brand. So right from the gate, I needed kids to understand their power and how they could build wealth. And to me, this is the future.
More crypto or blockchain related projects and collaborations from you in the future, Wyclef?
USDC, Wyclef Jean, that refugee, you already know. And so listen to this. The first song is called Back from Abu Dhabi, right? Me, Rick Ross, and French Montana. You want me to tell you the line that I want you to look out for?
Absolutely, go for it.
I'm in the circle now, overlooking Wall Street. I got my coin stable back from Abu Dhabi. Back from Abu Dhabi, back from my... How come you're not moving, though? I need you to be like...
Oh, I'm moving. You can't see my feet. I love it. It's great. When is that one coming out?
So that one just came out. But you see, the idea of culture, and when we say culture currency, it's like we use a lot of our music, a lot of our sports, a lot of our technology to get the message out, right? So at the end of the day, think of like when rappers are coming, like you always know what's the hottest fashion, right? You always know what you're going to drink, right? Now, what I need you to know is what you're going to put in your wallet. You know what I'm saying to you?
I love it. I love it. Cash Razagi of Circle and Grammy-winning artist and producer Wyclef Jean. Thank you both very much for joining us for Money 2020. And Wyclef, I got to give it to you if you want to send us off with some more of that hit song, about to be hit song. Go for it.
Back from Abu Dhabi, back from Abu Dhabi. My name is Wyclef. I'm a true refugee. In my wallet, I got USDC. Down with the clear caller refugee. If Shakira is watching, hey girl, I can see you. You need to get a wallet, Shaki. Hit me up.
I love it. I love the circle.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And because we had Jerome in the house, I had to do this video, so I'm going to launch it early morning today. And we have Michael Saylor giving us the truth. Finally giving us the truth, and that's how we know. This time, they're about to flip this switch. What did he say? You do not need to be a person in order to own Bitcoin. And people are not going to work as hard as the machines. And this is good for humanity. And we know he's a talking puppet. And he's selling the people right down the drain. And those who built me from the beginning know I told you the plan a long time ago and then also wrote about the plan. If you don't have the NWO book, make sure you get it before the new one is released. Because over these next 2 and 3 years, you're going to see the rise of the machines, the robots, algorithms, and drones taking this economy over. And Michael Saylor speaks about the new payment rails. And I know this sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And I know a lot of you, when you first heard my channel, told yourself this cannot be true. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. And we have every last single one of the leaders of the banks, these funds, are now coming out with the truth. And these machines are here to take the place of humanity. And that's why I keep telling you, make sure you get back with the creator so therefore you can start creating. And we have the NWO getting back to the playbook. What do? They go get a star, a musician, to go ahead and push adoption. We have Wyclef teaming up with Circle. And he's one of the best in the game. But then also, he's well respected in the emerging markets. Even though they're already using the technology, he'll really be able to push the adoption of these stable coins. And then plus, you're talking about a song with Rick Ross and French Montana. And Wyclef is definitely conscious. He's coming from Haiti, so he definitely knows the playbook. He knows they're coming to use him, so that he's going to use them. And again, in the emerging markets, they were already doing similar technology, but they were using like cell phone minutes for money. We know in the third world countries, these poor countries, this is where all the innovation comes from. Because when your back is against the wall, that's when you're definitely using the mind. But we know how powerful music is. And when it comes to hip-hop, R&B, it controls everything across the globe. And it's going to be easy for them to push adoption. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And then we have Michael Saylor going over all the products around Bitcoin and the yield. But guys, we know when Bitcoin starts to turn, the price starts to move down. And even though he's always talking about the price moving up, but eventually we know we're going to be pulling back before we go back up. And that NAV turns for the worse. These products are going to be in trouble, especially these treasuries because they have so much yield out there. And we have the Fed stopping QT because they know this economy is in trouble. But remember, this is a plan. It moves in phases. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we had the Fed, Jerome Powell, say they're going to start buying treasuries, the short end. So now we have the Treasury buying the long end to manipulate, and now we have the Fed buying the short end to manipulate. And that just lets you know that we are definitely in trouble. They're trying to hold this thing up for the fourth industrial revolution. Now we have Trump Jr. on AI. And again, we have the President of the United States pushing every sector right along with his family. They're all getting paid. You can't make this stuff up. But Trump Jr. talks about controlling the machine. There needs to be rules in place. But you know what the crypto teacher teaches? To make sure you stay educated and your kids. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you, you do not want to fall for the devil's tricks, and you definitely don't want to fall on the wrong side of history. And we have these AI stocks booming for the past couple of years. But all that's going to start winding down. Why? Because it's time to build. All that money was pumped into these AI stocks as part of the bigger plan. And now it's time for the rise of the machines. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
S&P put out a press release that they've granted, for the first time, to a Bitcoin treasury company a credit rating. So we were rated as a B-.
Is that
it's
fair?
A start. We expect to move up in the ratings over time, but we think it's a very auspicious start because it represents institutional adoption of Bitcoin-backed credit. And of course, the most exciting thing we've done this year are 4 IPOs of 4 digital credit instruments: Strike, Strife, Stride, and Stretch of late. And now that we've got an S&P credit rating, that's going to open up the market. There are hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of capital that won't buy an unrated instrument that can go ahead and acquire a rated credit instrument. So it's really a great day for us and for the entire crypto industry, I think. I would buy Bitcoin because it comes without that counterparty risk, and that's normally been about a 45 vol asset that's returning about 45 to 50% a year. Our equity has amplified Bitcoin, so we actually have more volatility, more like 60, and we've been outperforming Bitcoin. So the people that want more volatility and they want more performance would buy that amplified Bitcoin equity. But there are a lot of people that want half and half. They want some of the upside, a lot less downside, and they want a dividend. And so that's what Strike was created for. It's convertible preferred that gives you long-term upside, but principal protection and an 8% dividend at par. And then there are other people that are long-duration credit investors. They buy things like Strife, which is a 10% dividend at par forever, like a 100-year bond or longer. And then for those that want extreme fixed income, they would buy Stride, because Stride is the junior credit instrument, but it yields about 12.5% effective yield, so about 350 basis points more than Strife. And the final one is Stretch. Stretch is a treasury credit instrument. It's for people that don't want they want the minimum volatility. Like, I have money I don't need for 6 months, and then I got to pay my kids' tuition, or I got to pay my taxes, but I don't want to get paid 2% or 3% or less from the bank. So Stretch pays a dividend, which is right now 10.25% at par. It's got most of the volatility of Bitcoin stripped away. It's kind of targeted at 100, and now it trades like 98.70 cents or something. So it's very close to that 100. And what you're getting there is equivalent like a 1-month Bitcoin bond, right? So if you've got a short-term focus and you hate volatility, but you want to get paid double or triple what the money market would pay you, you would buy that Stretch instrument. And if you got a massively high risk tolerance and your Bitcoin maxed, you would buy the equity, and the other credit instruments are for people in the middle. Aggressive credit terms against either IBIT, and now even many of those banks are starting to talk about offering credit against underlying Bitcoin. I think in 2026, we'll start to see some of these major banks like Citi custody Bitcoin. BNY Mellon start to custody Bitcoin, and companies like JP Morgan start to issue credit against it. I think it's all very auspicious for the entire industry.
Bitcoiner in the first place. I was managing a large portfolio of U.S. Treasuries. I was probably one of the largest buyers of U.S. Treasuries in the United States. And talking directly to the Fed, to the Treasury, it gave me conviction as a once Bitcoin skeptic that Bitcoin was the only answer to the debt crisis and the fiat currency debasement. And the fiat currency debasement as an investment opportunity is kind of becoming popular in Wall Street circles now. But for Bitcoiners, this was a core part of the thesis, and obviously the other being true financial freedom and an opt-out from a system. But the debasement trade, Bitcoin's the only answer. And I think that a lot of Bitcoiners, including myself and Strive, have conviction that the U.S. government's never going to stop printing money. The debt crisis is a bipartisan issue. And, as an American, I'd love to see it be solved, but I am not optimistic on it being solved. And I think that only provides more and more tailwinds for Bitcoin and people that invest in Bitcoin.
Are you looking at AI right now? Because there's so much hype and a lot of froth, people say. So what kind of companies are you looking for?
So we're looking at a lot of the big guys. I think the reality in AI, there is a threat to what we've seen as it relates to what we were talking about 2 seconds ago on speech. AI has been very left-leaning. It has been manipulating a lot of things for a long period of time. It's sort of like Wikipedia. We need to make sure that there's neutrality in AI so that we get real answers, so that people aren't continually manipulated, because people will be manipulated not just by their rainbow hair-colored teacher in kindergarten, but by a machine that guide what they're actually thinking and change that course. So we have to make sure that it isn't dominated by one politically inclined machine, but by a neutral and diverse set of thoughts that allows for that freedom. It isn't trying to manipulate a system. It isn't working for a side. It is just all about truth and honesty.
Oh, totally. I mean, 3 years ago, I discovered AI, and I'm quoting here Satya from Microsoft. I discovered AI as you ask it a question, it answers. 2 years ago is give it a task and it will respond. Today, it's your intellectual companion. The evolution in 3 years is incredible. And you're right. If you talk to people who are working on AI and say, what does it look like in 2 years' time? They say, I don't know, but it's going to be better. What I worry about is within AI, there are some names that are at reasonable valuations, but that has pulled other names that I think will end up in tears.
In tears?
Yes, I think this is what I call a rational bubble. It's rational because everybody has an incentive to overinvest in AI because the payoff is so huge, but you're going to have a relatively limited number of winners. So there's going to be some losers in there, but it is a better system than what China has, where the government tells you what you should be doing. This at least has competition and will have better outcomes.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.